Hi guys, welcome to Know Math. And the lesson that we will going to discuss today is about sequences and series. And this is intended for high school mathematics, especially for grade 10 students. And my name is Sir Bench Antonio. And if you are not yet subscribed on my channel, kindly hit like and subscribe for more videos and for you to get notified once I have new videos uploaded, right? So before we start, I have here the anticipation guide for you to test yourself if you fully understand my lesson. And if you have some questions, just comment down below and I will try my best to answer those questions, right? So let's get started. First, what is sequence or what is a sequence? A sequence is a succession of numbers in a specific order, meaning it is a list of number in a specific order. List of number, ibig sabihin, meron tayong pagkakasunod-sunod. Each number in a sequence is called term. The term are formed according to some fixed rule or property. That fixed rule na tinatawag is what we call pattern. So, kailangan mahanap natin yung pattern para matawag natin siyang sequence. Right? So example, I have here numbers 3, 5, 7, 9, and this is called a sequence. Okay, additional information. We have two types of sequences, or we have two types of sequence. We have what we call the finite sequence and the infinite sequence. So by the word themselves, the meaning of finite, we have the last term of that sequence. And pag sinabi naman nating infinite sequence, it is a continuous terms. It is a continuous sequence. Okay? Those numbers in our sequence are called terms. So it is what we call the first term, the second term, the third term, and the fourth term. And these terms are denoted by A. Or we can say that our first term is A sub 1. Our second term is the A sub 2. The third term A sub 3, and of course, the fourth term is A sub 4, and so on. So, yung mga susunod na terms natin dyan, pwede na natin siyang tawagin kung pang ilang term siya. So, depende yon kung saang number of term siya. Now, as I'm saying, para matawag natin siyang sequence, meron tayong tinatawag na fixed rule or yung pattern. So, para malaman natin yung mga susunod na terms dito, kailangan nating mahanap yung tinatawag nating pattern. So, by observing, the first term is 3 and the second term is 5. So, paano siya naging 5? We added 2. And observe on the third term, nag-add din tayo ng 2 sa second term. Followed by the fourth term, nag-add din tayo ng 2 sa third term. So basically, for us to know the next term, we will now follow the pattern, which is adding by 2. So this is how sequence works. Okay, so para mas maintindihan mabuti, we have here some examples. First, let us know or let us find the next three terms. So we have here 17, 14, 11, 8. So first is to observe what is the pattern of the given sequence. So 17 naging 14. So basically, we are subtracting 3. Or we subtracted 3 from 17. And then from 14, we will subtract 3 again for us to get the next term, 11. And then 11 subtracted 3, we will get 8. And then 8 subtract 3 for us to get the next term, which is 5. So follow the term or follow the pattern, follow the rule. We will subtract 3, we'll get 2, we will subtract 3, and we will get negative 1. So 5, 2, and negative 1 are the next three terms of the given sequence. Right? So, madali. Let us try next example. 5, negative 10, 20, negative 40. Let us find the next three terms. Again, for us to know the next three terms, kailangan mahanap natin yung tinatawag nating pattern. So observe what is the pattern. So by observing the numbers, 5 becomes 10, and 10 becomes 20, and 20 becomes 40. We are multiplying by 2. Okay, we are multiplying by 2. But aside from observing the pattern, we also need to observe the signs. Take note that in mathematics, we have the positive and the negative signs. So, para makuha natin yung pattern, it is multiplying by, or para makuha natin yung next term, it is multiplying by negative 2. So, observe that if we have 5 multiplied by negative 2, we will have negative 10. And that 10 multiplied by, or negative 10 is multiplied by negative 2, we will have positive 20 because negative times a negative number will give you a positive number, right? And then positive 20 multiplied by negative 2 will give us negative 40. Therefore, if we're going to multiply negative 40 by negative 2, that will give us now the next term of positive 80. Then positive 80 multiplied by negative 2, we will have now a negative 160. And follow the pattern, we will have positive 320. See? Ganun lang kadali si sequence. Let us try the example number 3. We have here 100, followed by 20 and 4, and what are the next 3 terms? Okay? So for us to get the next terms, find the pattern. So observe kung ano yung pattern natin by 100 naging 20. The pattern can be adding, subtracting, multiplying, or dividing. In this case, we are dividing by 5. So divided by 5, 100 divided by 5 is 20. Then 20 divided by 5 is 4. So if we have observed, if we're going to divide 4 by 5, we do not have an exact number, but we can use fraction. That 4 divided by 5 is the number on the next term. Okay? And by dividing by 5 again, we will have now 4 over 25. And by dividing by 5 again, we will now have 4 over 125. Okay? So that is how we will going to find the next term. So para mag-divide naman tayo ng fractions into a whole number, I will create another video on that about fractions kasi most of the students ay medyo nahihirapan sa fractions. So gagawa tayo ng video for that. Okay? Let us try another example. So in this case, this is also a fraction. But if we're going to observe the pattern, it is simply adding 1 on the numerator. So we have 1/5, and then 2/5, and then 3/5. So basically, the pattern is we are adding 1/5 on each term. So we have 1/5 plus 1/5, we have 2/5. 2/5 plus 1/5 is 3/5. Plus 1/5, we will have 4/5, followed by 5/5, or 5/5, I'm sorry, or 1. We can set it as 1 because 5 divided by 5 is 1, right? And then followed by 6/5. And that is and those are the next 3 terms. Next, how about this example? We have 1 followed by 2, followed by 4, 7, and then 11. So for us to get the next 3 terms, we have to know the pattern. Sometimes the pattern in a sequence, it is not just by adding, by subtracting, multiplying, or dividing. You have to explore of the pattern. Okay? So i-explore natin yung pattern. So i-observe natin that the pattern 1 becomes 2. We are adding 1, right? So, si 2 naging 4, it can be adding 2 or multiplying 2. Kaya lang, mag-take tayo ng idea doon sa first pattern natin that we are adding 1. So, it's either adding 2 or multiplying by 2. So, since na adding 1 yung una natin, it can be adding 2. So, by the pattern itself, meron tayong pattern doon sa loob ng pattern. which is we are adding 1 and then adding 2. Basically, we are going to add 3 for the next terms. And then add 4. So we have 1 plus 1 is 2, 2 plus 2 is 4, 4 plus 3 is 7, 7 plus 4 is 11. So for us to get the next three term, we will now add 5. That will give us 16. Then 16 plus 6, we have 22. And 22 plus 7, we have 29. So these are the next three terms of the given pattern. Alright? So doon sa pattern natin, sa sequence, iba't iba yung mga pwede nating mabuo sa sequences or iba't ibang pattern yung pwede nating magamit. That's why we have different types of sequences. And these are the common types of sequences. We have what we call the arithmetic sequence, where this is a sequence with common difference. Dito, nag-a-add tayo or nagsusubtract tayo. Kapag nag-a-add tayo or nagsusubtract tayo sa mga patterns, ibig sabihin, ang tawag sa sequence na yon ay arithmetic sequence. So example, we have 2 plus 2, 4 plus 2, 6 plus 2, 8, and so on. We also have what we call the geometric sequence. The geometric sequence naman is a sequence with a common ratio. In this case, if we are multiplying or dividing as a pattern, it is now called a geometric sequence. So say for example, we have 1 multiplied by 3. Multiplied by 3 again, that will give us 9. Multiplied by 3 again, that will give us 27. Multiplied by 3, 81, and so on. This is now how geometric sequence work, by multiplying and dividing. We also have what we call the Fibonacci sequence. This is somehow a special sequence from a great mathematician Fibonacci, where this is a sequence, the next term is found by adding up two numbers before it. So the common or the famous Fibonacci sequence is 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, then 8, followed by 13, and so on. How come na naging Fibonacci sequence siya? So sabi nga natin sa definition, the next term is found by adding up the two numbers before it. So 0 plus 1, we will get 1. 1 plus 2, we will get 3. 2 plus 3, we will get 5. And then 5 or 3 plus 5, we will get 8. Then 5 plus 8, 13, and so on. So in this pattern, you will notice or you will know what will be the next terms of that Fibonacci sequence. Alright? So these are some common types of sequences na magagamit natin pagdating natin sa topic na sequences and series sa ating grade 10. And also, we have here what we call the harmonic sequence. The harmonic sequence is a sequence of numbers such that the difference between the reciprocal of any two consecutive terms is a constant. So this is somehow a kind of higher lesson for a sequences. So we will discuss it on the other video para mas maintindihan natin si harmonic sequence. Right? Now, so if you already know the types of sequences, basically, masasagutan na natin kung ano yung mga common questions pagdating natin sa sequences. Example, let us find the a sub 8 of the sequence, 4, 9, 14, and so on. So as we notice, 4 is our a sub 1, 9 is our a sub 2, 14 is our a sub 3. Then we have to know a sub 4, a sub 5, a sub 6, a sub 7 for us to get the a sub 8. Using the pattern, check the pattern, we are adding 5. So 14 plus 5, we have 19. And plus 5, we have 24. Then plus 5, we have 29. Plus 5, we have 34. And lastly, we need to add 5 for us to get the 8th term. And the 8th term, or a sub 8, is 39. Another question that you may encounter in terms of sequence. Insert the missing terms in the sequence. 3, 6, and then blank, 24, 48, and then blank, and then 192. So, para makuha natin yung missing term natin dyan, kailangan natin malaman yung pattern natin. So, let's check. 3, naging 6. So, possible, it can be adding 3, or it can be multiplying by 2. So, for you to check what would be the pattern, check the other terms. Check the other pattern doon sa ibang terms natin. So, 24 naging 48, basically, it is multiplying by 2. So, therefore, the pattern that we will going to use is multiplying by 2. So, 3 times 2, we have 6. 6 multiplied by 2, we have 12. 12 multiplied by 2, 24. And then times 2, 48. And then 48 times 2, that will give us 96. That, for you to check if 96 is correct, multiply it by 2, then you will get the last term of 192. Okay? Next, this is a kind of question that we cannot use the common type of solution na sinusulat natin each terms. Pag nakuha na natin yung pattern, isusulat natin each term. Say for example, in the sequence 3, 1, negative 1, and negative 3, what is the value of a sub 20? A sub 20 is somehow far from the first 4 terms. So, kailangan ba isulat ba natin yung a sub 5, a sub 6, a sub 7, and so on? No. Hindi natin kailangan isulat yun. Gagamit na ngayon tayo ng formula. And that will be discussed on the other video. Okay? So, meron tayong ginagamit na formula dyan. Yun yung formula natin na a sub n is equal to a sub 1 plus n minus 1d. I will discuss more of this on the video, specifically the arithmetic sequence. Okay? So, those are the, that is how sequence explains. Now, let us proceed with the series. Ano ba yung pagkakaiba ni sequence kay series? Nung sinabi natin that the sequence is a list of number, it is just a list. Pag sinabi naman nating series, it is the sum of the terms of the sequence. So basically, this is a sequence, a finite sequence, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11. Pag sinabi naman nating series, it is the sum, or meaning we will going to add all the terms that we have. Okay, again, this is a sequence and this is a series. That is the difference between the, series. That is the difference between the two. Okay, sequence is a list of number with orders or with pattern, and the series is the sum of all the terms on the given sequence. So, say for example, we need to find the sum of this one. So, 3 plus 5 is 8. 8 plus 7 is 15. Then 15 plus 9 is 24. And 24 plus 11, we have 35. And that is the series of the given sequence. For more understanding, okay, so here are some examples of the series. So say for example, we have here 2 plus 4 plus 6 plus 8. So we need to find the series of 8 terms. So if you have observed, we only have 4 terms. For us to get the series of the given 8 terms, we have to know the next 4 terms. So we have now 2 plus 4 plus 6 plus 8 plus the 5th term, the 6th term, the 7th term, and the 8th term for us to get the series of 8 terms. Basically, this is our a sub 8. What is a sub 5, a sub 6, and a sub 7? By the pattern itself, we have 2, 4, 6, 8, adding by 2, we have 10, 12, 14, and 16. And then we need to add all of the given terms. So 2 plus 4 is 6, 6 plus 6 is 12, 12 plus 8 is 20. And 20 plus 10 is 30, followed by 30 plus 12 is 42. 42 plus 14 is 56, and 56 plus 16, that will give us 72. Okay, so this is now the series of 8 terms, 72. Okay, now next example, we have negative 1/4 plus negative 1/2 plus negative 1 plus negative 2 plus, and so on, up to the series of 6 terms. So for us to find the series of 6 terms, since we only have 4 terms, we need to get, or we need to find, what are the 2 next terms. Of course, we need to get its pattern. The pattern from negative 4 or 1/4 becomes negative 1/2. It is multiplying by 2, right? So if we're going to multiply negative 1/4 by 2, we will get negative 1/2. And if we're going to multiply negative 1/2 by 2, we will get negative 1. Take note of the signs that we have positive and negative signs. Since that negative signs ay hindi nagbabago, therefore, we are on the positive pattern. Okay? So negative 1/2 times 2 is negative 1. And negative 1 times 2, we will get negative 2. So therefore, if we have to get a sub 5 and a sub 6, we will multiply this by negative or by 2. Negative 2 times 2, we have negative 4. And negative 4 times 2 is negative 8. So there. So now we will going to add all of it. Okay? So we all know that they are all negative numbers. That if we're going to add negative numbers, that will give us also a negative. Okay? So let us just add 1/4 plus 1/2 plus 1 plus 2 plus 4 plus 8. Let's start with the whole number. 8 plus 4 is 12. Plus 2 is 14. Plus 1 is 15. And if we're going to add this 1/4 and 1/2, that will give us 3/4. So basically, we have negative 15 and 3/4. Of course, this is correct. But if your teacher asks you to change it into improper fraction, just multiply 15 times 4, we have 60. Plus 3, we have 63 over 4. So the answer is we have negative 63 over 4 or negative 15 and 3/4. Okay, so that's how the series works. So if you do not have any question, right? And this time maybe you can now answer the anticipation guide that we have on the first part of the video. So leave your comment, guys, and follow for more videos. Thank you so much.